They are printed in the bulletin for you to follow along. The first comes from Marsilio Ficino. Those who are in a frenzy utter many wonderful things, which a little later, when their frenzy has abated, they themselves do not really understand, as if they had not spoken them. But God has sounded through them as though through trumpets. And Thomas More wrote, "The enchantment of message story lies in its capacity to take us away from the rules, expectations, physical laws, and moral requirements of actual life. A good story is like a wand brushing against the mind, sending it into a trance, teaching it lessons from another land, beyond east and west, or from a golden time before and outside this realm of fact and history." And the 14th chapter of Luke 16 through 24. "A man once gave a great banquet and invited many, and at the time for the banquet he sent his servants to say to those who had been invited, 'Come, for all is now ready.' But they all alike began to make excuses. The first said to him, 'I've bought a field and I must go out and see it. I pray you have me excused.' And another said, 'I've bought 5 yoke of oxen and I go to examine them. I pray you have me excused.' And another said, 'I've married a wife and therefore I cannot come.' So the servant came and reported this to his master. Then the householder in anger said to his servant, 'Go out quickly to the streets and lanes of the city and bring in the poor and maimed and blind and lame.' And the servant said, 'Sir, what you commanded has been done, and still there's room.' And the master said to the servant, 'Go out to the highways and hedges and compel people to come in, that my house may be filled. For I tell you, none of those men who were invited shall taste my banquet.'"
Retirement. I'm not sure I like the sound of the word. I've been using the word pro-retirement. This has been just kind of a launching pad to send me off into the next great adventure. I mean, 40 years being about this kind of stuff, I doubt I'm going to change a whole lot. I've got a card that said retirement. It said refresh your spirit, relax your body, recall your success, recharge your energy, reflect your contribution, renew your friendships, rejuvenate your mind, remember your dreams, reward yourself, and rest. That's what I'm looking forward to. You know, I've been here over 9 years, and in my time here, in our time together, in the midst of all of my stammerings and stutterings and fits and protestations, I wonder what it is that I've been trying to say. And why it is that it comes to this time and I still don't know if I've said it clearly. Maybe it's a target that keeps moving. Sort of like a duck at the carnival, you know, that you shoot at. Whenever you shoot, it moves. But it strikes me that really what I've been trying to say is simple and straightforward. And that is that God is alive. And so are you. That magic is alive. And so are you. That God is light. And so are you. That mystery is overwhelming. And so are you. Justice is alive. And so are you. You are the ones who have been called. You are the ones whose names are on the scroll of those who are to carry light into the world. You are the ones to do justice. You are the ones designated to stand in the gap between chaos and compassion, between ignorance and fear, between celebration and depression. You are the ones that Jesus was talking about when he said, you are the light of the world. Don't hide it under a bushel. I don't know what else needs to be said. But in my usual manner, that won't stop me. There's so much in our lives that speak of pain and loss and diminishment. And it's easy for us to get wrapped up in that. But if you will look within yourselves, you will see that underneath that experience of chaos and fear, that there is a still, calm pool. And if you will let yourself stare deeply into that pool within, at first it may seem dark and threatening, but if you let yourself plunge into it deeply, at the bottom there is an ever-flowing spring of light and compassion, which is you, which is who you are. See, I hope that in our time together that I have let you see in the brokenness of this vessel that I am, that somehow through the cracks of the brokenness and the chinks that you've been able to see some light. You see the vessel, but if the truth be known, the broken vessel is really the not me on which I have hung my various masks. Mask of father and husband and child and brother and pastor and minister and community activist and iconoclast and ne'er-do-well and whatever it is. And the real is that which is underneath. And hopefully you've been able to see some of that. See, this is a time when we all are moving on. And my hope is that this will be a time when you're moving forward as a community and being willing to shed the imprints that my hands have left here. And so that you can discover something more, something new, and that you can encounter it as an adventure and have a sense of excitement about it. And if this is going to happen, it's going to take all of you. It's going to take each of you participating. And so I'd like to ask you to be patient with the movement and the change as it grows and meshes and emerges. And there will be stops and starts and ups and downs and ins and outs. And in the midst of it all, it's important not to rush to judgment about whether a stop or start or in or out or up or down is good or bad. Be patient. Don't rush to judgment, but rather let that which wants and needs to take place emerge organically, like a mustard seed grows in the garden. And remember that the mustard seed is a tiny little seed that grows into something strong and big. For koinonia to move forward will require each of you to do your part to tend the garden that is koinonia. I'd urge you to find out what it is that, to continue to find out what it is that you're excited and passionate about, and bring it as your contribution to the community. Don't insist that others jump on your bandwagon, but patiently offer who and what you have. And even if there's only one or two others who want to partake, start there. Who knows where it will go? Be willing to experiment. Be willing to be uncomfortable. When others make an offering, try it out. If it seems strange and weird, go, wow, that seems strange and weird. I think I'll try it out. You know, let yourself be curious. Learn. See if it fits. See if there's learning and growth, or maybe a different way of looking at the world. I've said it before, but I want to say it again, that I consider myself to be blessed by my time here. That this has been a time of really deep healing for me as a human being. It's been a wonderful time of growth, a time of unfolding, a time of learning. As was said last night, it's a time when we've been able to walk and work together, and that kind of collaboration and open-heartedness has been really like a cold drink of lemonade on a hot summer afternoon of working in the sun. It's just been so refreshing and such a nice way of, I guess, finishing my, or this part of my career in the church. If I have to say anything about what I've been trying to do here, I have to say that in my time here, my desire has been to have it be that who I am and that what I've said would, in the words of Thomas More, break you away from the rules, from the expectations, from the moral requirements that existence puts on you, puts on your lives. And that at times that I could be like a magic wand breaking a spell, breaking the trance. That would open you up to that time and space where there's neither north or south or east or west or up or down or here or then. Would open up that space that's outside the realm of fact or history, where you could encounter the true miracle of who it is that you are, individually and as community. That it could open up that space, that core awareness of your intimate and essential connection and participation with the something more that life is about. Now, if that has happened, it is, to be sure, not so much a reflection of who I have been, but it's rather an indication that when we've gathered here together, that has been a reflection of both who you are, as well as the something more that animates and motivates all of life and being. In our times together, I've had a good time. It's been good. In our times together, we have been able to dance. And the rhythm and movement has been good. At least it's been good for me. Hopefully I haven't stepped on your toes too many times in our dance. But it's to recognize that this dance is a line dance. And we only get the same partners for a little while. And it's now time to see who the next person is to dance with. And we just have you know that to do this dance, that it requires some things. And it requires that you follow your deepest desires of your deepest souls. Those deepest desires that wind down into the ache that is within the ache of the core of your being. And when you've reached into that spot, you must then show how you can reach inward and outward simultaneously as you feel the kiss of mystery's sweet lips on yours in the midst of your living. I'd have you know that this dance is not about wanting to hold the whole world within your heart. It's more specific than that. It's about holding one piece at a time. Especially, it's about how you can turn away from making other people wrong, while at the same time refusing to abandon yourself in the midst of your hurt and fear and dread of not being loved. This dance is about telling your story and doing it joyfully. It's about telling the story of the one who you are, while at the same time seeing the story of the new ones who are in your midst and listening to them and celebrating them. Those stories that are expressed with actions rather than just with spoken words. This is a dance. This dance isn't a pie in the sky kind of wonderfulness that is there if you ignore half of what's happening in the world. It's a dance where you show how you can risk completely being at peace. Being okay deeply with the way things are right now in this moment of chaos and mayhem. And in the next moment, and in the next moment. And then demonstrating how you can take the hands of the broken and the lonely and peacefully dance their cares and yours away. Know that this dance that you're taking part in isn't about possessing superhuman strength or wisdom or willpower. None of that's good for good dancing. You have to go the other way. The way that acknowledges just exactly how you crumble when you hit the wall. How you break. The way that speaks to that place that you can't go on your own strength and your own willpower and your own wisdom. That speaks to that which carries you through when everything else fails. That carries you through to the other side of the wall, where you discover the fragile beauty of what it means to be human. You have to be willing to go to those places that teach you how to dance, celebrate. You must be willing to go to those places where you can risk the world breaking your heart and letting it show. You have to offer to one another and to the world the stories. The stories that you want your children's children to remember and take joy in and celebrate. And trust that those stories will be carried on. So I encourage you to breathe deeply and dance freely with the next partner that comes along. Step into that infinite pause before the next great inhale of breath that is breathing us all into being. And dance. And let the emptiness be filled, not from within or from without, but with the dance. I don't know if any of that makes sense. I don't know. But if I can leave this position of trust and leadership with any instructions, I guess they would be simple. And they aren't original. Ask yourself questions regularly. Who am I? What do I love? What gifts will I leave while I am steward of this body and this spirit? What heritage will I leave? And then if you wonder what is required of you to do good, it's simple. Do justice. Love kindness. And walk humbly with the infinite, with the something more of life. Love. Love the something more. All of it. With all of your heart and your mind and your soul and your strength. And you know that means loving your neighbor as yourself. Love beauty, express kindness, and regularly let yourself lose control and be swept away by the awesome, mind-blowing extravagance of life. And in that